right on time. Just waiting for a few more people. Hi guys, thank you for joining us. I hope you had a wonderful Youth Day, which is still happening. Today we're chatting to Ayanda Jiya. She'll join us shortly. Just waiting for a few more people. It's interesting, we have our favorites here. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I think this is our fourth one, and you've just been so consistent supporting us. We appreciate it. Let me send her a request. Let's see. Just want to figure this out quickly. I want to send my guest an invite. I see she's on there. There we go. Invite. Perfect. Yay. Woohoo, I think I can hear her. And I can almost see her. So anyway, whilst we're still connecting with our guest, I think just also let us know where you're watching from in the meantime, so we have a sense of, our base. I think we've been doing this for, I think it's our fourth or fifth now, I can't remember. And it's been so nice, really, because you guys have been supporting us and really just showing up, and we really appreciate that. But it would be nice to just get a sense of where you guys connecting from. Can you hear me and see me, Ayanda? I can tell you connected.
I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. So I can hear you too.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you too. Okay, somebody's watching from Soweto. Precious. Oh yes, thanks. Thanks for joining in. So I can't yet see a video from you, Ayanda, but I can hear you perfectly. But we'll keep trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I see I'm also seeing.
Yeah, so one of the things I've learned about this is that it's never really as easy. We've tried. But while we'll see. It'll probably just fix itself shortly.
Okay.
Maybe while you're still doing that, if you can, multitask before we even start. How was your Youth Day? I know there's a lot, happening in the country today, lots of speeches and stuff. Anyway, this day has changed in so many ways over the years. I can't even tell how it was for me, but what happened in your world briefly today?
A couple of my friends, we decided that we wanted to celebrate the day. So we all dressed up in school uniform, and we were having like a little braai. I walked in with 2 ponytails, and he said to me, I still look 12. He doesn't know how I do that.
And you know they're right.
So I yeah, I know they're right, but I guess that's genes. I'm grateful for that. Yeah, but it's been great, man. We just basically just having a great time. Everybody's here with their children and their families, and we just reflecting on the day and just just having a great time together.
Yeah. Somebody from Durban.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Oh, well, somebody from Klerksdorp already having like homies, like, yeah, she's from my hometown. I knew you'll get a lot of that. Very exciting. But somebody's like, no, we need to see the other queen's video, though.
Yeah, I'm also still struggling, so my face is still not seen.
No, it's fine. We'll be patient. Look, it's never easy.
Okay.
Maybe we can try maybe we could jump. You could jump off and join again. Maybe we could try that. That could.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we can do that. Yeah, this time.
Maybe yeah. Just join again, and then I'll stay on.
All right.
Aha. Then we have somebody here with the same surname as her. Luyanda. Ah, perfect. Lesego is in the house. We love you too. Thank you so much. And we appreciate the support so much. Maglera is in the house. Lovely stuff. Okay, so the other queen is connecting. We'll definitely get it right, trust me. You know, technology is not easy, so let's just be patient. We'll get there. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for everybody who's watching and joining in. We'll just give it a few more seconds. I see Bukholo just joined in as well. Hi, Bukholo. So to give you a sense of those who are joining this live for the first time, we've been doing this for about a month, I think. We started off celebrating and reflecting on Africa during Africa Month, and we were talking to some of the creatives in the country and beyond, and just trying to get a sense of how people feel about Africa, not just from the arts point of view, but also just, you know, just from a social standing point of view. We spoke to some amazing Africans, and then we kind of tilted it, of course, in celebration of the month of June in South Africa, to try and talk to young people who are doing amazing things, which is why I'm talking to Ayanda this evening on Youth Day, which is very special because then it makes it so significant to speak to a South African young person on this day, who's going to share her amazing journey with us in her musical career and that sort of thing. I don't want to give away too much. She will share all of that with us. So essentially, these are also available on YouTube, so you can check them out if you've missed any of our lives. We've put them on YouTube. So yeah, if you miss out, it's okay. We've got you covered. You can just check us out there and see what are some of the things we spoke about before. And we'll probably do this for some time, probably in the next month again, on various topics. So yeah, we hope we'll get the same support that you continue showing us. All right, I think Zion is also connected, sending lots of love to Ayanda. She'll connect shortly, a little bit of patience, she'll get there. Thanks a lot, guys, we appreciate the patience. These lives are never easy. That's all I've learned. I've learned to make peace with that. So another thing that we could do during the conversation this evening, once Ayanda joins in, is also if you guys can send us your questions or comments or anything that you may want to ask her. And when I spot one, I will gladly do so. If time allows us, she will speak to some of the questions you will ask. So feel free to do that too. We're not fussy at all. Thank you, Easy Tiger. Let me check on her again. Send an invite. Let's see. Okay, crossing fingers. Let's hope we get it right this time. All right. Almost. And there we go.
Here we go.
I know, you know, I think Instagram Live, it does that with people's nerves. And for some reason, I'm becoming an expert because I've learned to be calm. I think just, I've been doing this a few times and I'm like, okay, I know, they'll be fine. It's like the first 10 minutes is something you don't understand. But anyway, so we're so grateful that you're able to join in. We can hear and see you perfect. And you're right, you're wearing your school uniform. That's good though. Nice way to remember what this day stands for. And yeah, cool.
Yeah. we've been having such a wonderful time. Everybody looks like they're all from high school, and all just having a great time, reminiscing about our experiences of us being in high school. So it's been a great day.
And you still look like you're in high school.
Day.
Just putting it out there. So hey to the good genes.
Yeah, and these ponytails probably make it even more worse,
No, man, Ayanda, thank you so much for making this time and just really accepting our invite to chat with us. I think for me, what's significant about tonight is being able to get into the hearts and minds of a lot of young South Africans across the country. And I'm so glad that we finally get to do it. We've been talking about engaging for years, right? Literally for years. But I think they couldn't,
Yeah. It's been, how many years has it been? Probably like, what, 10 now? Yeah. It's been a while, but I'm glad that it finally came. Yeah, the moment is finally.
And it's with a significant day. Yeah. So everything about this is perfect and it makes sense, right? I want to just quickly get into it and talk about your career, your life, and everything that basically is going to be a part of what we're going to talk about today. Not little questions for people who have joined us today. We literally just have 5, right? In case some people may have a few, but I want us to talk about your bold surrender to your musical ingenuity. You released one of your first albums, which is one of my favorites. I know there's quite a few, but this one is my favorite. It's called I Understand, released in 2019. This is subsequent to your EP in 2014. And you have literally been perfecting this skill, though, since 2007. So this is not like a Mafigi Zolo thing. No, the girl's been at it for almost a decade. I want you to tell us about how you first uncovered and tapped into this best version of your musical self. When did it all start and how?
Well, I think the understanding of the gift, I was 6, just understanding what I was supposed to do. I really believe that was where I had an understanding, or like the final one-on-one, and like moment with the talent or the gift itself. I got to understand the responsibility of it. And I know a lot of people think as a young child at 6, how do you understand stuff like that? But I don't know, I really feel like as a gifted person, especially when you're spiritually inclined, there's an understanding that God makes. He makes that communication somewhere, somehow, and you get it. It may not be easy for a kid at that age to, express as what it is, but once they are in the element, the understanding of the gift itself, you can see it, as they move along with it. And that's how I got to be familiar with just understanding it, tapping into it. Obviously, that was a lot it was a lot because it takes exercise, it takes patience and practice to familiarize the connection and to always know, when you actually using it, so for me, that's when I got to understand the power and to just tap into it. So moving into that and being just self-aware of the gift, that's what actually helped me. So I couldn't really say like a certain time or space, but all of this, as I grow, I gradually got to understand its power. And I think I'm at that point now where I fully, completely understand how to use and how to navigate it.
And if I may say, I know you speak of it a lot from an internal point of view, but if I may attest, is that this is something we've also seen. If somebody grew up around you, if you were a part of a community of people who saw you grow up, really, nobody's in shock of the kind of career you're in. It is like, but of course, of course that there couldn't have been any other thing. So a lot of young Black South Africans are obviously looking at you, following your journey quite religiously and also trying to navigate their own purpose. And they're probably wondering, how does she do it? 15 years in a very difficult industry that hasn't even quite gotten the creative sector right yet. I mean, it's not a walk in the park. What has been your continuous lighthouse in the journey of pursuing your music as you sort of timelessly uncover the best parts of your gift?
I think what really helped me is being surrounded by, people who would be supportive of my nature in that regard, because I don't see it as just a talent. It was my nature. It was who I am, you know. So when I am okay, when I'm happy, when I'm surrounded by people who are supportive and kind and, you know, light, it makes it easy for me to move, to be able to be confident in the movements that I need to make, in the purpose, in the talent, in the gift, you know. So I think that's what really helped me to just really navigate myself around even all the hardships, because obviously in this industry it's not easy. You want to have a strong foundation or a community of people that would be supportive of you, even when they don't understand, just to be supportive of what you need to do is what you need, you know, because you really can't do it alone. You really can't. You need that power. You need that that motivation sometimes, because it does get difficult. It does get uneasy. I mean, there were times in my life, in my music career, like in my journey, where I just felt like, you know what, actually, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like, I don't know why, you know, why do I have to go through this? You know, if this is really God's purpose for me, then why must it be so hard? Like, can't people understand that, you know, God put me here, hello, you know, kind of thing. So you think it's that easy, but it's not, because it is those hardships that actually kind of move and cultivate and, you know, shape you to the real purpose at hand, you know. And that's what I needed, because for me, I don't think I would have been able to push thus far, because I've had so many moments in my life where even my music was taken down. There was a moment where my music was taken down, you know, and that really did put me in a very dark space, because I worked so hard and now my music is taken down because of certain things that have been moving in between that I had no knowledge of at that moment, but everything seems to collapse, you know. So that also taught me how to actually look into how I build, you know, because you got to make sure that every brick you put together, that cement touches that brick so that thing sits, you know. And in my experience, there were a lot of loose ends, loose bricks, things that did not stick, and I had to learn the hard way. But I'm grateful, because now I know how to build. You know, now I know how to have a strong foundation, and I could have never done that without having being surrounded by friends and family who were supportive of that.
I mean, talking about the greatest lesson of having your music taken down and stuff, for what it's worth, yesterday when I was driving on the highway on Radio 2000, I think on the David Mashabela show, I heard your song. So I was jamming to your song. So it's definitely out there and we loving it. So, hey, big ups to the growth, you know, because, the growth's out there. Yeah. There's actually a comment here before I move on to my next question, and I just love it. It says it's from something that you've said. I think it's the Watch Lady ZA says, I love that. It's actually not a talent, it's who you are. And this is just the essence we really trying to uncover, which is so simple to uncover, I must say, because we really are talking to the core of who this person is so easily. This brings me to your current work, your album named Queen. I think it's a bold statement of solid identity, right? Self-assuredness of some sort and affirmation. What was the inspiration behind some of the songs that are there, and what experience are you hoping your music lovers will take away from this album?
The whole purpose of it was very personal. It was, I think when I put Queen together, I was at a point where I wanted to just reflect, remind myself, also recall, you know, who I was, and what I was called for, but most importantly, what the purpose is, the mandate of it all, you know. So I shouldn't lose focus to what I'm called at hand, you know, or what's at stake, you know. So that's what Queen was. And if you, like with every song, it speaks of a certain point in my life, a certain situation in my life where I feel like this is how I came out of it, you know. So that's what I wanted, and I wanted to put that in a project, so that whoever would be listening would also be able to recall, reflect, and remind themselves who they are and in their move in life, you know, because I think that we all need that sometimes, and life throws a lot of things at us that we start doubting, you know, or we tend to deviate from where we're supposed to be. And this was for me it was more of a reminder, and just to bring that consistency back to the purpose of why I'm a musician, why I sing every single day, you know, the purpose of it all.
And it reminds me.
And that's what Queen was.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was saying, and that's what Queen was about, just to reflect that. And reason I called it Queen is because I do believe I'm royalty, and I go by that a lot. I believe that as a creative, me personally, I believe I'm royalty. I believe that the gift that God has given me has a lot of, it carries a lot of Him with me. So I need to act accordingly. So that's why whenever I say I'm a queen, I live by that. I act by that. It just reminds me of whose I am, you know. So that's basically why I called it Queen.
The queen. You're the queen. Royalty, absolutely. I love that. I love that perspective. I mean, I can't even, you know, debate with that. And I must say that, you know, I particularly loved your recent tour across the globe. I mean, you were in the US doing these amazing things with your career and with music. I think you were in Chicago at some point. You were pretty much just all over. I think it was a global tour. And I mean, for me, this almost like a full circle. That's how I saw it, as somebody watching, you know, from the outside, as someone who has kind of watched that journey for over a decade, and then watching this person at the height of more than a decade, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, all my life. Yeah, like you've actually seen it from the start, from the first time I performed at church, the nerves that broke through, the overcoming thereof, being in the youth choir, getting to learn how to sing different parts. You really saw all of it as I gradually grew into, you know, my purpose in life, you know. So I can imagine when you say that it's full circle for you. It's different for me when I am the one that's actually going through it, because every experience it's a different. I see it differently from how everyone else is seeing me, you know. Sometimes it's like I am hitting a brick wall, but to you it's like she's actually doing this, you know, or she's actually pulled through, you know. So the pains and the ways of how I see it have been very different, but it has been bittersweet, but it has been worth it, because every day I get to see the difference that, you know, my music has done, you know, the impact, because for me it was always the purpose, the impact that I bring, and that was very important to me. And when I get to see that, you know, people listening and, you know, getting messages like, yo, you pulled me through this with this song, and this song did this, I love this song, and, you know, that for me is what I'm here for.
Work done.
That's what I'm here
for.
Yeah. It really is.
So, I mean, you've also managed to not only create, but also like walk your own path. And I think this is one of my favorite elements about you, how you've been able to just walk your own path, right? Something extremely difficult to do for anyone journeying with purpose, for starters. You have since collaborated with some of the most South African revered artists across the country. I mean, Stoji, Zion, Questa, Aries, and many others. I'd like to really hear, and I'm keen to hear about what has been your observation in terms of Ubuntu in the creative construct over the years in your work.
It's a bit of both, you know. A part of it, you know, I could say that we still have a lot to learn, or we still have a lot to still practice. I think we need to learn how to practice love in action and really actually do it, you know, because I feel like that is a part of Ubuntu, because that's when you get to see how to respect another person, you know, how to, you know, reason with another person in love, you know. I think that's something that we still lack a lot in understand Ubuntu, you know, between two people. I think that's something that we really need to still work on. Other than that, for those that have the understanding, you know, it's beautiful to see, you know, because there's no, you know, competition or trying to shut a door for the other, because you understand that there is, this pie is big enough for everybody. You know, one thing I love about being creative, here's one thing I really, and I go by this, is because I know that God created us differently for a purpose, because he knows that if you are good at one thing, the other person is good at the other. Together, when you guys work together, you make the most incredible things. And I think that's why we are different. So it makes no sense for me to shut the door for you when I know you have what I lack. You know, so that for me is something, that's why I say we still have that, we still need to work on that, you know, we really do, because we are talented people, and individually we do amazing things. Now if we could actually see each other the same way, you know, that helping each other actually makes us all grow and we all win, we'll get somewhere in our lives, you know, not just only in the industry, but just everywhere in general, in life in general, you know, our communities would be better, you know. So that's one thing I've learned so far when it comes to
and that
Ubuntu.
is the core of it, really. This I am because of you, or I am because you are first. That sense of community, and I think as African people, that is really where we come from. There's nothing else that we don't know. We come from this unit of togetherness. So really, yeah, makes sense.
Absolutely, and that's how we win. You know, I mean, if you had to look into even the histories of how our empires were built, we worked together to achieve a lot of things. If we could actually bring that back, imagine how amazing, how strong and powerful. We'd actually go back to origin, to original power of who we are as Black people.
Yep.
That's just my opinion. You know, yeah.
And you'll certainly win a lot of wars too. That's what I believe. Certainly. So, I
That's
mean,
for sure.
I'm very keen,
That's for sure.
on
Yeah.
June 16, you know, the historical legacy and the meaning behind this day.
Right.
46 years on, you're one of the young people in this country. You are well on your path. You are great. You are an epitome of greatness, in my view. In fact, before I get to that, I want to read this quickly. Somebody says here, it's so good to hear from a musician when you talk about your music being taken down, because one of the end of the listener, we get angry too when we search in the streaming platforms and no results. So big ups to you for the consistency and the resilience of having had that experience, and yet here you are, and you're just global in every way. And I think, if I may add, it's that important element of authenticity as well. That authenticity is very important.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody has that. So to be able to put it out there, of course, when people see this now, it may not make sense, like, she's kidding. But that authenticity, I think, for me, is what a lot of people need who are still journeying and maybe struggling with that, to know that she's been there, she did it.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no point of us. Look, I know how, I understand the whole thing of cover it up, you know, poker face, you know, just be professional, you know, don't say too much, don't contradict yourself, you know, because you're walking on eggs, you know, people are watching you, you want to have people, you know, always be supportive of you, be a certain way. I feel like the only way for us to actually grow is to be realistic about the things we go through. I mean, for me, when that happened to me, it broke me. I mean, I went into therapy. I was depressed because that was my work. You know, that was my work. That was my bread. You know, I do this full time. That is, and also it's a purpose. Like, there's a message that has to go to the world, that people need to hear this. You know, this is not just for me. You know, like I said, it's not just a talent. It's not like I'm, you know, like, besides me living from it, it's ministry. It's you know, it's important that I take it out for the world to listen, to hear, because what they listen to is what they become. And if you are going to give some people that are people intentional things, it helps them think and be better people, and I'm all about that. So when my music was taken down, I was just like, now I'm taking 10-15,000 steps back in trying to make the world a better place, because that's just what I believe, and that's what I believe my purpose is. So for me, it was deeper than just money being taken away from me. It was the purpose, the consistency of what I've been called here on earth to do has been taken off. And that is what put me in a depressive mode, because I'm sensitive about my artistry, but it's spiritual. So it goes deeper than just being creative, you know, and that's what hurt me. And to be quiet and not to know when to actually voice out and say, this is what's really going on, you know, because, you know, all in the name of greed, or all in the name of, because you think that this is how it's supposed to be. It's not, you know, it's not even for you. It's not even yours to even want to control or take away, you know, and that for me was what was hurtful. But I wanted it to be something that was, I had to voice it out, and I had to face it so that I can overcome it, you know. And one thing I'm grateful for is that as much as it's taken down, it didn't stop me from doing the purpose and the work, you know. There's still more to come, you know, and there's still more work to be done, you know. It's not over until, you know, the creator or the person who put me here, or the God that created and put me here, he'll tell me when I need to retire, you know. So for the fact that I'm still breathing and I've overcome the depression and the hurt of all of it, it means that, you know, I still have to go on, you know, and that's what keeps me going.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I'm not sure if you're keen for a question.
Yeah.
Should we official leak?
Okay.
Leaky. You want to take that question?
Oh.
Well,
what
I
is
think
the question?
should we let him in for a sec, maybe? Or should we, what do you think?
Okay.
I say we try.
I thought maybe you wanted.
Let's see what let's give him a sec. Official Leaky, you have, so we've accepted you. Oh, okay. Maybe not. I think he wasn't aware he pressed that. So, Ayanda, yeah, somebody says, Malindi says, I love that. There's still more to come. Well, they're better because you've got us hooked now. So you need to feed us, right? So I need you to give us a message for young people, young South Africans, you know, people who are not necessarily just in your field, just young South Africans who are really just navigating this life thing. What message do you have for somebody listening to you right now?
You know, earlier today we were talking about, well, with the gathering with friends of mine, we were talking about, you know, the kinds of life like we have, and you know, the accomplishments that we've had, and everything, and what drove us, and you know, the challenges that we had, and what came as a common thing with all of us was that what pulls us back in most of the things that we struggle to achieve is because we are still kind of attached, or still attached. We're still holding on to our comfort zone, and so much so that we don't even see that these things are depriving us from achieving, you know, all the things that we need to do. You know, you tell yourself that, okay, today I'm going to do gardening. Gardening is one of my favorite things to do, for an example. And for some reason, you wake up and you're like, I'm going to start at 10. And then 10 o'clock comes and you notice you haven't bathed yet. You haven't even eaten breakfast because you're procrastinating or you're doing something else. So it was those kind of things where we were like, once you really put your mind into it, and you know, if you start thinking of it as air that you breathe, as important as the air as you breathe, that if you find it as that important, that's what's going to pull you out of your comfort zone to achieve all the things that you did. For me, it was scary to say, I'm going to go with the purpose. I'm going to go and I'm going to do what I'm called to do with my music. Whether people understand it or not, whether my family is going to be supportive or not, whether they think I'm crazy, or whether they're going to try and implant all the get another job on the side kind of thing, you know, self-doubt or whatever the case may be. Like, if you're going to sit on those things will pull you away from what's burning inside of you. I say, don't sit in the worry, because if you're gonna pray and worry, it's never gonna work. It's never gonna work. So my message, that being said, get out of your comfort zone, no matter how crazy it may look. When you know God is in it, the road will be clear as to where you're supposed to go. So just don't sit in the comfort or in the doubt that you wouldn't know where to start or where you're gonna go. If God is in it, you good. You just go. Just go.
Amen.
Yeah.
And amen, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ayanda. I think I have no doubt that somebody out there, somebody somewhere has gotten something for themselves. And I think mainly and mostly really just thank you for your time. I know many people will feed from your aura, from your positive energy, your bright light, and absolutely your gift. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. I mean, I haven't spoken to you in like years, so it's so nice to actually see you again and, you know, just actually share with you. And in fact, I really wanted to share with you because you've seen this, like I said earlier, you've seen me just grow into my craft. And I can only imagine, you know, from your side, you know, how it's actually looking, you know, from where where I started, you know. So I'm actually grateful that you even wanted to share your platform with me. To share my story and, you know, how I actually got to where I am now. And I do pray that this be motivating to someone else. And that there'll be more people who would actually be, you know, that would actually be able to surrender to their calling, despite of what the world thinks and despite of what the world or anyone else around them say, you know. So I hope this actually helps with that.
For what it's worth, Ayanda, I want to read this to you, right? Because it's such a lovely takeaway. Somebody says here, I think it's Dento, says, we love your music. Malindi again says, don't pray and worry. I heard that. And Boholo says here, blessings to you, Ayanda, and may God raise you from strength to strength. Amen. Well, I know we won't stop. So I think it's enough for somebody to pack a little something for themselves. We could just stop it here. I mean, you constantly have our support, and we wish you so much light. We'll connect again soon. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.